So this question is one of the hardest questions in interviews, and a lot of candidates actually get stumped on this question. It is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Where do you see yourself in 2 years' time? Now, the best way to answer this is with market knowledge, industry knowledge, and knowing the sort of progressive routes within your career or job. Now, the best way to not to answer this question is to say something cheeky like, I want to be on the other side of the table, I want to be interviewing for this position. It holds no substance once again, and it can put a lot of employers off. Now, again, with interviews, you really want to stand out. So if it was a finance position, for example, and it was an entry level role, how you would answer it is, how long does it take to actually become a chartered accountant? If it takes 3 years, great. You, from the position you're in, you want to say, look, my projection is I might not have a 5 year plan, but I definitely have a 3 year plan. Now, my plan is to obviously complete my ACCA, become an accountant, and become a chartered accountant within that time. And how I'm going to do this is, while continuing to work, I'll be gaining experience as well as studying as well through that time. Now, after that, I'll look to sort of home in on the company as a whole, and grow with the company. So you want to evidence that. And also, if there's no sort of studying, etc., lead that's needed with the position, you want to establish the industry knowledge. So, for example, if you're going into a company that's in a different industry, let's say fashion, you could talk about the last 5 years, that what's happened in the industry. So you can say, look, the progressiveness of fast moving fashion, or what do they call it, throwaway fashion or something. You can talk about what's the next trend in your industry as well. So you can talk about, in the next 5 years, I predict that there's going to be a trend towards, fashion that's lasting. So clothes that are obviously a bit more expensive, but last much longer and renewable as well, or recyclable, or whatever it is. I mean, it's not the best answer or best example, but it's a good answer. So you want to talk about the next 5 years, what the industry or the sort of sector you're in, what is going to happen and how you're going to develop with that industry. That is a surefire way to answer that question. And it doesn't mean you have to answer the question that's related to the job itself. Obviously, mention that you're looking for a position that, can have longevity, and you want to establish that. You don't want to come across that you're going to leave the company. You don't want to mention anything along the lines of, how you're going to use this position to get qualified and then move on to a next position. Employers always want people to stick around and grow with the company. It's the number one thing that will set them apart from, not hiring someone. If someone says, look, I'm looking for somewhere for 6 months and then I'm going to move on, you will not get hired for that position. I guarantee it.